This is the Louie Tee Network.
In the lab room. 5 minutes or less.
Philadelphia Eagles. Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Luke. Thank you for joining me. 5 minute or less series, 2014 schedule release of the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. So, I like to start with, of course, primetime matchups. You're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, the 2013 NFC East champions. They earned to be a 5-star football team. And that's exactly what they are. So let's look at this slate of primetime matchups. You start with, no, not Thursday, Saturday football. Late in the season when college is over, NFL getting some Saturday action in late in the season. Week 16, Eagles at the Redskins. Primetime matchup. Should be a lot of fun. That'll be the second time the Eagles see Deshaun Jackson, their ex-boy from a season ago. He spent his entire career with the Philadelphia Eagles, was let go unceremoniously in the offseason. That'll be the second time the Eagles run into their man, D-Jax, for the season. That should be some fireworks there in D.C. Week 16 Saturday football. You look at Sunday night football, Week 6, home for the Giants. Anytime the Giants and the Eagles mix it up again, anytime it's family business, I don't give a damn what division it is. Sign me up. Family business is always good theater. Sign me up for that. Giants, Eagles, week number 6, Sunday night football. Week 15, Dallas coming to town to take on the Eagles. Eagles getting some more primetime love within the division, more family business. Eagles, Cowboys should be a huge matchup late in the season, week 15. That's going to have playoff implications. That's going to be a lot of fun. You look at Monday Night Football, week 2 at the Indianapolis Colts. Eagles got to travel out to Indy to take on Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts coming off of a postseason run. And so that's going to be a huge game for the Indianapolis Colts on Monday night, as well as the Eagles, because again, if the Eagles are going to repeat as NFC East champions, they're going to have to get some wins on the road, not only in the division, but outside of it. And this one is in the AFC. This one is against a good football team. This is going to be a barometer of sorts for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's see how they handle going out on the road early in the season against a postseason team from 2013 in the Indianapolis Colts. Week 10, you're home for Carolina on Monday Night Football. Another team that won their division a season ago. And so that's going to be a great game. Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers coming out to your place on Monday night. You need a victory. It's going to be a huge game. It's going to be rocking at the link. Let's see if you're able to get a win versus the Panthers and Cam Newton in week number 10 on Monday Night Football. So you move on to divisional games for this Philadelphia Eagles football team, and you start with Dallas. Week 15, talked about that as a primetime game late in the season at home against the Cowboys. Got to get wins within the division at home. It's mandatory if you're going to repeat as NFC East champions. You look at Dallas, week 13, you are on the road against the Cowboys. So you see the Cowboys 2 times in a 3-week stretch late in the season. Got to have those games if you are the Philadelphia Eagles. That's an interesting conglomerate of games, if you will. Cowboys twice in a 3-week stretch late in the season. You look at the Giants. Week 6, you are at home. Talked about that game as a primetime matchup on Sunday night. And so if you are the Eagles, it's a must. If you're going to win this division, that you get your wins in the division at home, and then you sprinkle in a couple of road victories, but you got to get them at home when they're available. Week 6, Giants, your place, Sunday Night Football. It's a must. You get that victory on prime time. You look at week 17, Giants are home for you. So you're on the road against the Giants in week 17. If that's a game with playoff implications, that's going to be a tough get for you. But again, it's family business. You shouldn't have a problem going on the road and trying to score a victory. So we'll see how that one turns out. Week number 3, Eagles at home for the Redskins. If you're the Eagles, you want to continue to try to win games at home. Redskins coming off of a dismal season, new head coach early in the season. They're going to be trying to feel each other out. It's your job to make sure that they don't get on track against you early in the season. Week 3 at home. Week 16, you are on the road against the Redskins. That's a primetime game on Saturday. Talked about that one already. That'll be the second time you see D-Jax. That first game against D-Jax in week 3 is going to be huge, going to be a huge media spectacle. But again, if you're the Eagles, you have to tune out all of the noise, all of the distractions, and just try to get a win. That's what it's all about. All of that noise will be provided by the media, but once the game starts, forget about all of that. Try to get a win against the Redskins. It's not Eagles versus D-Jax. It's Eagles versus Redskins. Try to get a win in both of those games versus the Redskins. So now you look at anomalies for this Eagles team, and there are a plethora of anomalies. Of course, anomalies being stretches in the schedule that stand out to me. 3 out of 4 on the road or at home. 3 straight games on the road or at home. 4 out of 5 on the road or at home. 4 straight on the road or at home. A game in London. Those are all anomalies to me. And so you look at home anomalies for the Eagles. They have 2 of them, okay? So not just 1, 2 anomalies at home for the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 out of 4 twice on their slate. Weeks 3 through 6, they're at home 3 out of 4. And then they follow that up with 12 through 15. So weeks 3 through 6, they're at home 3 out of 4. Weeks 12 through 15, they're at home 3 out of 4. So Eagles enjoying a couple of stretches where they're at home in chunks during the season. 1 at the beginning of the season, 1 late in the season. So if you're the Eagles, you must take care of home in these stretches because, again, we're talking about 6 of your home games being in a 4-week radius of each other twice in the season. So you're talking about 8 weeks of football with the Eagles having 6 games at home in those stretches. So a lot of your home games are closely knit together. Got to get those W's when you are at home. You look at the away anomaly for this Eagles team, weeks 8 through 11, you got 3 out of 4 on the road. So sandwiched in between those anomalies at home is 1 big road anomaly, 3 out of 4 on the road. You got to go and get road victories. If you want to repeat as NFC East champions, I can't state this enough, you got to get wins on the road. And so you move on to the bye week, week number 7. That's a solid bye. Can't complain about that one. Kind of gives you a chance to play some games, get your feet wet, get a bye, recharge the battery, and try to make a run down the stretch. Solid bye week in week number 7. So you move on to NYC, mark your calendar, and of course, week 3 at home versus the Redskins. D-Jax returns back to the place where he was drafted and played the first 5 or 6 years of his career. That's going to be a lot of fanfare, a lot of media coverage. They're going to hype that game up bigger than what it is. It's a week 3 matchup early in the season, yada, yada, yada. Just know that there's going to be a lot extra that has nothing to do with football concerning this game, but D-Jax will be returning to Philadelphia. It'd be interesting to see how he's received by the crowd and all of the things that go with a player returning to his old stomping grounds. This situation's a little different because this guy was coming off a career year and then was unceremoniously kicked out of Philadelphia. Want to see how the fans receive him and see how he plays against his ex-team. And then, of course, the last month and a half of the season. You've got 4 divisional games within the last month and a half of the season. So that's going to be a huge stretch of football. Speaking of which, let me get a 20-second. Matter of fact, let's change that to a full. So you want to be a champion, you say? Well, check this out. This is what champions are made out of right here. 4 of your final 5 games are within the division, 3 of which are on the road. Last 3 games of the season, all in the division, and the last 2 of them are on the road. So you think you're a champion? Well, let's check this thing out, shall we? Week 13, you're at Dallas. Week 15, you're home for Dallas. That is a primetime game. Week 16, you're at Washington. That is a primetime game. And week 17, you're at the G-Men. So, you say you want to be a champion, right? 4 of your final 5 games in the division. 3 of them are on the road. And all 3 of your final games are within the division. 2 of them are on the road. Strap it up, Philly. You want to repeat as NFC East champions. You're going to have to get it done the hard way, down the stretch, on the road, in the division. Good luck. You're going to need it. Timing! And that's Philadelphia Eagles. 5 minutes or less.
While you're here, go ahead and sub up.
In the lab room.